Hello everyone. Today I am here with a topic in manufacturing process. The topic is casting. Okay, casting process. So let's start. Manufacturing topic I will be covering in this slides. The topic which are related to casting, like introduction to sand molding, pattern design, the layout of pattern and its construction, and the various steps related to casting. So what is sand casting? Okay, sand casting is a process in which a cast is formed from a molten metal in a sand mold. It can be used to produce a range of sizes from a fraction of an ounce to hundred of ton. Okay, we use sand as the casting material, and we can produce as many quantity and from smaller size to a lot of 100 tons quantity we can produce. You can see in this image in the process of casting. First of all, we make the pattern and we pour the liquid metal into the pattern, and in the third figure we can see the pattern is the shape is formed with the help of pattern, and finally the finished product which we want to make is obtained through this casting process. So why you use casting process? There are certain advantages as well as there are certain disadvantages also, some limitation also. The advantages is capable of large sizes. We can produce large sizes of casting, capable of holding details. We can hold any particular object. Next, useful for metal with low ductility. If we have any metal with a low ductility, then casting can be easily done on that material. Most economical type of fabrication. It is very cheap in construction because the accessories which are required for casting is not too much expensive. Okay, and the amount of wastage which we have in casting is very nominal, so it is a cost effective process. On the other hand, there are certain limitations also in casting. Those are empty space can weaken the material, because during the casting process there are certain, you can say that there are certain cracks and certain limitation in casting, that the pattern does not get properly fitted into the molding material, and therefore there are certain gaps. Those gaps actually make the finest finished metal weak. Okay, then the surface finish is very poor due to the quality of sand, due to the ramming action of the sand, and some surface finishing is not very proper. Then we have small part hard to remove, because during the casting process there may be some small parts which cannot be removed after the casting has been completed with the help of machining process. So this part which cannot be removed, they become fault in the final finished object. Then we have additional hardening usually needed, because the casting process, the product which we found finally is not of that adequate strength. So hardening, we do hardening with the help of heat treatment process and other, there are certain types of process with the help of which we can make the finished material a bit stronger. Okay, step involved in producing a cast part. Okay, there are certain steps. These are metal casting, converting molten or plastic raw material into finished product. Step involved in producing a cast part. First of all, what are the steps? Preparing the mold. First of all, we take the sand and we make sure that this sand is very fine in structure, and the water content is not too much but not too less also, and there is no any further material, extra material in the sand part. Then we prepare the molten metal. What we do is that we take a furnace and we heat the metal until it becomes liquid. Okay, then we introduce or pour the metal into the mold with the help of ladle. There is a device called ladle. With the help of this ladle, we pour the molten metal into the pattern, okay, into the mold, sorry, and the pattern gives the shape of which object we want to make. Then next step is solidifying the molten metal. We solidify the molten metal, we keep it for some time so that it gets solidified, and after solidification we remove the casting part from the mold. Okay, this is the step involves of producing a cast part. Next is application of metal casting. There are certain application like actually there are many applications of metal casting. Those are in transportation, automobile, aerospace, heavy equipment, construction, mining. Then in railway construction also casting is used. Then electrical machine like motors, generators, pump. Then household utilities like kitchen and gardening equipment. These all are used with the help of casting process. In this diagram we say in the part A, this is the mold, inside part is mold and outside part is flux, okay, and the inner portion top which is cast metal. The second B portion we can see that this is the actually gating system, okay, this is the gating system. Gating system is actually the set of arrangement through which all the metal casting process is made. So what are the elements of a gating system? We can say that there are 5 elements of a gating system. The pouring basin or pouring cup, then we have the sprue, then we have the runner, then we have the gate, and next is the riser, okay. Then we have the mold cavity, and there is we can see that the yellow portion there is a parting line. Parting line is that there are 2 portion in a mold cavity. One is cope and one is jag. The below portion is known as jag and the top portion is known as cope. So these 2 portion which the line which separates these 2 portion are known as parting line, okay. Next we have the mode selection and casting nomenclature. These are all the nomenclatures of a casting process. Open riser, okay, this is the vent, then this is the pouring basin, we have the flux, sand, this is the parting line is the dividing line between cope and jag, sand portion, choke portion, runner through which pouring basin we pour the liquid into the pouring basin, and through runner it reaches the gate, and from gate it ultimately reaches to the molding sand, okay. Then this is the mold cavity main portion, okay. There are some terminology which is used in casting process. These are flux. Number 1, flux is a metal of wooden frame without fixed top or bottom in which the mold is formed. Next is drag is the lower molding flux. I told you that drag is the lower molding flux, and the upper molding flux is known as cope. Then we have the cheek is the intermediate molding flux used in 3-piece molding. If we have a number of molding as 3-piece, then the intermediate portion is known as cheek. Next is the pattern is actually the mirror image of the final product which we want to make. It is the replica of the final object to be made. The mold cavity is made with the help of pattern. Next is the parting line. Parting line is the dividing line between the 2 molding flux that makes up the mold. Next we have the pouring basin. Pouring basin is a small funnel shaped cavity at the top of the mold into which the molten metal is poured. Next is the runner. Runner is the channel through which the molten metal is carried from sprue to the gate, and from gate ultimately into the mold cavity. Then we have the riser. Riser actually is a column of molten metal placed in the mold to feed the casting, and it shrinks and solidifies, as known as feed head. Actually riser is the main element of a casting process. Through riser what happens, through pouring basin we pour the metal, and through riser we see that it completes the cover completely covered the mold metal or not. Okay, and if there is any solidification, so that solidification can be rectified with the help of riser. Next is a gate, a channel through which the molten metal enters the mold cavity. And last is core. Core is a separate part of the mold made of sand and generally baked, which is used to create opening and various shapes cavity in the casting. This is the chaplet. Chaplet is also one important aspect. Chaplets are used to support the cores inside the mold cavity to take care of its own weight and overcome the metallistic forces. Okay, and the last is the vent. Vent, actually what happens when you pour the molten metal into the mold cavity, so there may be some gas entrapped in the mold cavity, or there may be some unwanted particle which is already there in the mold cavity. So to pour out those unwanted particles and gas and all, there are vent created in the mold cavity so that these bubbles and gases escape through in the surrounding. This is called vent. These are the steps for casting process. Number one is make the pattern out of wood, metal or plastic, whatever we required. Then prepare the necessary sand mixture for molding and core making. Then prepare the mold and necessary cores. Next is melt the metal alloy to be casted. Next is pour the molten metal alloy into the mold and remove the casting from the mold after the metal solidifies. Next is cleaning and finishing the casting. Next, test and inspect the casting whether it is satisfied our final requirement or not. Then remove the defects if any defect is there, we have to remove it. Then by the heat treatment process we relieve the internal stresses caused. Then again inspect the casting process, and finally the casting is ready for shipping. So these are the main steps involved in casting. Thank you guys.